Sarah Henderson, thanks for your time. You're a regional Victorian. You spent a lot of time with those in the room as well, Ballarat farmers there that you were with. Were you surprised by the level of emotion in the room?
No, I wasn't, Kieran, because farmers are extremely angry. For many years they've been fighting this reckless renewables proposal to roll out high voltage transmission towers, which effectively not only imperil their farms but also do great damage to regional communities. And that's why I've put forward this proposal to block the use of any Commonwealth funds on any new electricity infrastructure project, so high voltage transmission towers, solar and wind, unless those projects meet very strict criteria, including the protection of farmers' rights.
And when it comes to farmers' rights, I'll read you what Chris Bowen, he said to The Australian in the newspaper today. There isn't a wind turbine or a solar farm in Australia that isn't on land where the landowner didn't ask for it, and nor will there be. Call me old-fashioned, but I believe in capitalism. So he makes the point that it's actually more popular than, obviously there were very loud voices in the room the other day, but he's saying in the regions where there have been major renewable projects that they had swings to them at the recent election.
Well, there may well be projects where farmers agree to have those wind farms on their properties, and that's fine, providing there's not, of course, massive impact on neighbouring properties, and that's also a very big issue. But for Chris Bowen to suggest that everything's rosy in the country just shows how little Labor is listening to regional communities. Across Western Victoria, Kieran, farmers are up in arms. So many farmers are saying, we do not want these transmission towers on our property. We will not be able to farm. They are a massive fire risk, and they are, of course, tearing at the heart of regional communities. So this is absolutely toxic, and for the Prime Minister and the member for Ballarat, Catherine King, to basically turn their backs against regional communities is a disgrace.
When you say turn their backs, the PM, to be fair, did say that the government and companies specifically also need to be engaging much better with communities. Isn't that where they should be starting? I
mean, it's a pity that he wasn't around a few years ago because, frankly, these communities have been treated with contempt. The state Labor government in Victoria, who's driving the economy off a cliff, does not care about farmers and does not care about regional communities. Kieran, they haven't even looked at putting this power line underground. Now, that is a feasible option. All this government cares about is just delivering these transmission towers and disregarding the deep concerns of regional communities. And that's why, billions of dollars under ARENA, under the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, directly and also through government guarantees, is going into these projects. And I say we should not be allowing...
So that's the Western Renewables link?
I'm talking about all projects.
So all projects,
yeah, all
but they should be looking at underground options.
I think that is absolutely one option, particularly on the Western Renewables link. It's a very, very viable option. And in fact, I am told that it's very comparable in terms of the cost. And of course, it will make a massive difference to the impact on farms. So for the billions of dollars that are being spent on these infrastructure projects, communities have got to have a say, and that's why the communities must come first.
So on another matter, we saw a self-described neo-Nazi show up at Jacinda Allen's news conference, or, he claims was just walking past but interrupted it. We saw the events of the weekend. The PM, many others, Melissa McIntosh, your colleague, was saying that many of her constituents went, good people. The Prime Minister said there were many good people at these events. Clearly, the main focus, or it's been sidetracked, overtaken by the extremists there. What's your assessment of where those protests have landed?
Well, firstly, to what happened to Jacinda Allen's media conference this morning, that is absolutely disgraceful. I completely condemn that sort of action by these so-called neo-Nazis. But the broader issue of migration in this country is a very deep-seated issue. Many Australians are very concerned about the government's mismanagement of migration. We've seen migration go through the roof. Net overseas migration has been at record levels, and there were many good people at those protests, and they are angry and they deserve to be heard.
The government set the permanent number at 185,000 for the next financial year. Do you welcome that? That's flat in the last 2 years.
No, I don't welcome that, and we will consider the government's position. But of course, at the last election, we had a much lower permanent migration level of 140,000 for the first 2 years, then increasing to 160,000. But net overseas migration under this government has absolutely
You want the government. I want cut it.
Well, every country has a responsibility to manage its migration program in the national interest. And this government has put the national interest to one side, and that is simply not good enough.
Liberal Senator Sarah Henderson, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kieran.